NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play.
What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bring your latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. All right, so the NBA trade deadline has come and gone, and actually, it was a couple days ago, and I just wanted to wait for the dust to settle before I did a video about it. But the Nets did actually play a game since the trade deadline, and we got to see the new Nets in action, and we'll touch upon that in a second. But before we do, I do want to look at the two trades that the Nets made and kind of analyze them and overall give my input and what I think it means for this team moving forward. So let's start off with the first trade and ultimately the bigger, in my opinion, of the two trades, um, you know, for the Nets, which was Spencer Dinwiddie being traded to the Toronto Raptors for Dennis Schroder and Thaddeus Young, in which the Nets ended up waiving Thaddeus Young. So, whatever. And actually, the Raptors ended up waiving Spencer Dinwiddie, and the word is he's going to sign with the Lakers. So, good luck, Spencer, in that situation. But whatever. So ultimately, though, when you look at it, the Nets gave up Dinwiddie and they're getting Schroder. And when you first look at this trade, or when I first heard about the trade, my reaction was okay. Like when you look at it, you're like, it's kind of a lateral move. Like how much better does Dennis Schroder really make the Nets? And so you especially when you start looking at their statistics and the numbers, they have very similar stats. But then I took a step back and I really thought about it. And I really thought about what exactly does Dennis Schroder bring to the table? And I realized he's just better. Like he's like a more aggressive version of Spencer Dinwiddie. Like like they both are good, penetrators and good at dribble penetration and going downhill and kicking out to the open man. They're both capable of making the 3-point shot, though Dinwiddie, I would say, is a bit of a better 3-point shooter than Schroder, but still more capable. Though I think Schroeder's better at actually getting to the basket. Like, but he's just more aggressive and he's more efficient. He's like a more aggressive, efficient version of Spencer Dinwiddie. So that's kind of what the Nets got. And so when I think about it more, I think it does make the Nets better because it's like when Dinwiddie has one of his better games, it's like that, but just more consistently. And so that is who Dennis Schroder is. So I also think he's a much better defender than Dinwiddie, and we kind of saw that in that Spurs game. Like that Spurs game, I think showed everything of what Dennis Schroder can do. He can play aggressive defense. He can facilitate. He had 12 assists. He can slash to the basket and score if needed. He had 15 points. And once again, he just feels like he fits better and is more of what this Nets team needs on a night and night basis. So overall, I like the trade. And I do think it actually makes the Nets better. And I actually don't think it's a lateral move. I don't think it's like a huge improvement. Like I don't think this is going to make the Nets like a definite playoff team, but it definitely puts them up a couple more notches. If they were here, they're like here now. And I like it. I like it. And I liked what I saw in that Spurs game. So overall, I give the trade like a B plus, and the reason I give it a B plus is I still think there could have been other moves that could have been made involving Spencer Dinwiddie that might have been better, bringing in a better player. But Dennis Schroder definitely helps, and I do think that under these circumstances, it was a right move and it was a good move. So good job, Sean Marks, in that one. Okay, so the second trade that the Nets did, it was a little bit more complicated and has a lot of moving parts to it. But it was a three-team trade. The important thing is it involved Royce O'Neal. That's what you need to know. You really need to know who's leaving and who's coming in, right? So it was a three-team trade with the Suns and the Grizzlies, and in which the Nets traded Royce O'Neal, and they got back I believe three. I heard two before that. I believe that's three. 3 second round draft picks and Keita, Bates-Diop, and Jordan Goodwin. And Jordan Goodwin ended up also being waived by the Nets. So once again, whatever, he's not going to be on the team. But Keita, Bates-Diop will be on the team. So look, this was more about the 2 or 3, I believe it's 3 second round draft picks that the Nets got in this trade. You know, Royce O'Neal is one of those players that you want to have on your team, especially if you're a championship caliber team. He's a winner. He makes big shots. You know, he's a good defender. You want him on your roster. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to miss him. And I think a lot of Net fans will. But I touched upon this in my last NetsBoy episode. He was just tradable at this point. He's a free agent at the end of the year. The Nets aren't going to win a championship this season. We all know that. So having a player like him on your roster for the remainder of the year just didn't make loads of sense. So trading him was the best move, even though it kind of made the Nets a little bit worse when it comes to their wing depth. It still was a move that made sense. And those draft picks, those second round draft picks, a lot of people say, who cares? They're second round draft picks, right? Like that's what a lot of people say. Like, no one cares about second rounders. But think of it this way. The Nets got, or actually think of it this way, excuse me. The Suns just traded away second round draft picks to bring in a player like Royce O'Neal. So, though people poo-poo second-round draft picks that have no real value, the reality is the Suns just traded for a player like Royce O'Neal. Like, second-round draft picks can get you a Royce O'Neal caliber player if you have enough of them in a trade. And so, let's not poo-poo the second-round draft picks that Sean Marks just got, because that could be flipped and used in a year or two if, you know, God forbid the Nets do compete and start getting a lot better and are in like a playoff hunt or conference finals hunt or championship caliber hunt, and they need just one more Royce O'Neal-like player. Now they've got those second-round draft picks to go out there and make that move. So I think it's a really good move for the Nets. Under the circumstances, to trade away a player who, you know, you're probably not going to re-sign at the end of the year and is going to, you know, be a free agent and doesn't really help you in the terms of winning a championship because you're not going to win a championship. To get 3 second-round draft picks and what ultimately is a depth piece, I think Keita, Bates-Diop is a depth player who probably is not going to be in the rotation for the Nets, but still a player that fills a roster spot. I think it's a good move. And also, though, in these trades, Nets also ended up waiving Harry Giles III. Just want to throw that out there. So he ended up being waived. So just once again, when the trade deadline happens, there's so many trades and waiving players. But Keita, Bates-Diop is in. Royce O'Neal and Harry Giles III are out. And 3 second-round draft picks are in. That's what you got to. That's what you got to look at. So, look, I give this trade also a B plus. I do think, similar to the Dinwiddie trade, perhaps there are other moves that could have been made involving Royce O'Neal. I know, you know, Sean Marks was hoping to get a first. Supposedly, there was no team willing to do that. I kind of feel like if Sean Marks could have tried to figure something else out, maybe he didn't have enough time. Maybe teams were playing too hardball. I don't know. I do think there could have been other moves that could have been out there for Royce O'Neal. But ultimately, once again, getting those second-round draft picks is more valuable than you think. Also, by trading away Royce O'Neal, it's giving an opportunity for some of the other Nets to shine. And in particular, Jalen Wilson, who I had said, I feel like this guy needs a chance. And he's now getting some minutes and an opportunity to prove himself. Oh, by the way, Jalen Wilson was a second-round draft pick, a late second-round draft pick. So, once again, second-round draft picks have no value. Just another example of how they actually do, because I think Jalen Wilson is a player that's going to have a good NBA career, and he kind of is like a watered down version of Royce O'Neal at this point of his career, right? Like he's similar, right? He's always seems to be in the right place at the right time. He's always making a big rebound or making a big play here. He's shoots the 3-point shot pretty well. He's shooting 43%. So, like, it just makes sense. So, because Jalen Wilson now has this opportunity and the Nets got those draft picks, trading Royce makes sense. So, B plus for this move as well. I'm pretty pleased. I am a little disappointed and upset to see Royce O'Neal go, but I was prepared for it. I knew it was going to happen. So it overall is what was right for this Nets team, and overall a move that I'm pretty pleased with and think was the right move for the Nets to make. So those were the moves that the Nets made at the trade deadline. Once again, Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, Harry Giles III out, Dennis Schroder, and Keita Bates-Diop in, as well as 3 second-round draft picks. So overall, like I said, I'm pretty pleased with both moves. I think it's clear to me what Sean Marks and the Nets are trying to do. Like a lot of Net fans are frustrated that Sean Marks and the Nets haven't picked a side, right? They haven't either tried to get better or they have significantly better by trading away their draft picks, or they haven't tried to just blow up the team and trade away like Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and so on and so forth and start over from fresh. So a lot of Net fans are frustrated because it's kind of like the Nets are straddling, like trying to kind of improve, but not really improve. Make enough moves to improve, but not, but also not get worse. Like what was the vision? But I see it. It's just as simple as the Nets are just kicking the can down the road. That's what these moves are. The Nets are kicking the can down the road and are waiting till the next offseason before they even consider trying to make another move. And the reality is, that's the right move. There was no big move the Nets could make during this trade deadline. There was not a big name available, like that just made sense. Pascal Siakam was probably the biggest name traded, and it didn't make sense for the Nets to trade for him because he was going to be a free agent at the end of this year, and he wasn't going to make the Nets a championship contending team. So it just made sense for the Nets to make these little moves to try to get better, but also still acquire a few assets without impacting the team overall. Compete this year. The rest of this season is about competing hard and seeing what you've got. It's about seeing can Mikal Bridges continue to develop and be a true go-to scorer. Tries to see if Cam Thomas can build his game and be more than just a prolific scorer and a guy who you really could be a foundation piece. To see if Nick Claxton can continue to develop. To see if Ben Simmons can stay healthy for once, to see how Dennis Schroder fits running the second unit or how he fits with this team, to see what you've got with this team. And can Cam Johnson continue to develop? That is what the rest of this year is about. Developing what they've got and seeing what you've got, and then make a decision at the end of the year of what it is you really want to do. Whether you want to blow up the team or go out there and make a big splash. And who knows? Maybe certain players might be available over the offseason that weren't available now. Everyone talks about Donovan Mitchell. He might become available if the Cavs don't have as much success as they hope to, even though they're playing really well right now. But let's say they're out in the second round. Maybe the Cavs feel it's time to trade Donovan Mitchell. And now with the moves the Nets have made, they're still in a prime spot to trade for Donovan Mitchell. Because there's 3 things that a team usually looks for when they're trading a superstar. They're looking for first-round draft picks, which the Nets, I believe, have 11 of them, or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. But they have plenty of draft picks. They're looking for young all-star caliber players. Cam Thomas is definitely a young all-star caliber player, so check that off. And then finally, they're usually looking for expiring contracts for cap flexibility. Well, the Nets are going to have that going into the offseason next year in Ben Simmons and now Dennis Schroder. Both of those contracts are going to be expiring contracts and could be desirable for any team trying to trade away a disgruntled superstar. So the Nets have pretty much all 3 things checked off in the ability to make a big splash. So That's why I like this trade. And that is clearly these trades. And that's why I see that that's what the plan is. Just kick the can down the road, see what happens this year, and be patient because they are set up to make that big splash. I think the Nets are closer to being competitive and competing than they are to just be an implosion. I really do. I know that they're 10 games under 500 right now. At least they did beat the Spurs as they should have, and they did, and it was what I expected. But I do think that they are just one true star player away from becoming a true competitive, at least Eastern Conference Finals type of team. I really do. And they're in a perfect spot to make that move in the future. And that is what I believe is the plan for this Nets team. And that is what I think could happen and why the trades that Sean Marks made work. Before I wrap up this episode, I got to take some time to thank the former Nets that are no longer on this team. We'll start with Harry Giles III. Bro, you were just kind of there. I mean, you had some moments, but the reality was you were just a depth piece, and I'm sorry it didn't work out, but good luck to the next chapter of your career. So, Nets boys salute to Harry Giles III. Royce O'Neal, man, I'm gonna miss you. You were a fun player to watch, and for the last year and a half or so, and it was always awesome to see how you just always seemed to make a big play or a big shot when it mattered, and he was just a really good veteran leader and presence, and his absence is going to be missed, but he's off to bigger, better things, competing for a championship now with the Suns, back with Kevin Durant. So thank you, Royce, for your service. So Nets boy salute to you, and then once again, Spencer Dinwiddie. I mean, I already gave you one Nets boy salute send off before, but I guess I'll give you another. It's a shame the second stint didn't really work as well as the first stint, but so it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Spencer Dinwiddie is always going to go down as a fan favorite among Net fans, and always going to be somebody who I know I personally have always enjoyed watching and enjoyed talking about. I still remember to this day, almost I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago, my famous line, and there's an episode actually also named after it. Who the hell is Spencer Dinwiddie? Because the guy just came out of nowhere and he was all of a sudden one of the better players on the Nets. So, you know, thank you again, Spence. Good luck with the Lakers. That's what all the rumors are saying, playing with LeBron James. And I will say this. I don't think we're going to see a third reunion with Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't. I think this is like the end. I think the ship has sailed and it's long gone because I mean, if I'm Spencer, I wouldn't even talk to the Nets like ever again. Like this is the second time that they got rid of him. I mean, the first time it was a sign and trade, but like still they traded him away as in the sign and trade because they didn't really want him on the roster anymore. They didn't have the space for him. So I think this is the end. So thanks again, Spencer. Nets boy salute to you. Good luck to all three of those former Nets. But now we got to focus on the current Nets. So there you have it. Let me know what you guys think about everything. What do you guys think about the trades? Did you like them? Do you think that they were smart moves? Do you think that Sean Marks should have done something else? Let me know what you guys think about everything. The Nets, like I said, the rest of this year at this point is about evaluation of this team, evaluating the current roster. They do have at least one roster spot open from all the trades and the players that they waived and let go. So I guess we'll wait and see in the buyout market if there's a player that becomes available. The Nets feel like they could go out there and get. I mean, I know I still would like another big. I say this all the time with Daron Sharp being out. I would like them to get another third option big that could just come in and just give some quality minutes in the center spot for Claxton because it's still really rough seeing like Dorian Finney-Smith or Cam Johnson as the small ball fives. But let me know what you guys think about everything. And until the next Nets Boy, this is Nets Boy saying, I see the vision for the Nets and I don't hate it, and signing off.